All right, today we're going to dive into a story. It's a story about one of those ideas that can be, a real challenge for all of us, but also one of the most rewarding, discipline. So let's get into it.
Have you ever had that feeling, like you're just stuck, running on a treadmill, putting in the effort, but not actually going anywhere? You know what you want to do, but for some reason you just can't seem to make it happen. It's a feeling that can just totally take over if you let it.
And this is exactly where we meet a young man named Arjun. He's got goals, he's got ambition, but he feels like he's standing right in front of this huge, invisible wall. A wall he's built himself out of inaction.
I think we can all recognize Arjun's world, right? It's filled with those half-started projects just collecting dust. All those promises you make to yourself, I'll wake up earlier, I'll start eating better, that just seem to vanish by the next morning. And that gap between the person he imagines himself to be and who he is in that moment, well, it feels like it's getting wider every single day. And that weight is just crushing.
But then, something shifts. In the quiet of a nearly empty gym, of all places, Arjun has this chance meeting, one that's about to change his entire outlook. He meets an older, wiser trainer named Kai.
So after a while, Arjun just kind of lets it all out. He turns to Kai and says the one thing that's been eating at him, and it's something I think so many of us can relate to. He says, I know what I should be doing, I just can't seem to make myself do it. See, it's not about not knowing, it's about not doing.
And what does Kai do? He doesn't lecture him or give him some tough love speech. He just listens. He gets it. He can see that Arjun isn't lazy. He's just looking at the problem all wrong. He's about to hand him a whole new set of tools.
So how's he going to do it? Not with some complicated spreadsheet or a super strict schedule. Nope. He does it with three really simple but incredibly powerful metaphors that are going to completely reframe how Arjun thinks about discipline.
These are of the three pillars right here. Kai tells him to stop thinking about discipline as this awful thing he has to endure. Instead, he says, I want you to see it as a muscle, as a rudder, and as a seed. Each one gives him a totally new angle on the problem.
So first up, the muscle. Kai explains that nobody is just born disciplined or undisciplined. It's not something you have, it's something you build, just like lifting weights. Those first few reps are always the hardest, right? But every little choice, like not hitting snooze or writing just one paragraph or picking the apple over the chips, that's a rep. And over time, that muscle gets stronger and stronger.
Okay, next, the rudder. Think of your life like a ship on the ocean. That ocean is full of storms, the constant buzz of social media, the sudden currents of a bad mood or a random impulse. Kai says discipline isn't about trying to power through the storm, it's the rudder. It's what lets you make those small, steady adjustments to keep your ship pointed where you want to go.
And the last one is the seed. This one's all about perspective. Every single discipline choice, no matter how tiny or meaningless it feels right now, is like planting a seed. You don't get a giant oak tree overnight, of course, but you're investing in your future self. You're planting a tree today so that the person you'll be tomorrow or next year gets to enjoy the shade.
So these metaphors are already changing things for Arjun. He's seeing discipline not as this punishment, but as a way to build, to steer, and to grow. But Kai knows there's one more piece to the puzzle, the one idea that ties everything together. This is the real heart of it.
Arjun's absorbing all of this, but he still has that one burning question, the one we all have. Okay, this sounds great in theory, but what about in the moment? When I'm actually tempted, what's the secret? How do I actually do it?
And this is Kai's answer. This is the whole thing right here. He says, discipline is choosing between what you want now and what you want most. Just let that sink in for a second. It's not a fight between being good and being bad. It's a choice between two things you want. The easy pleasure you can have right this second versus the deep, lasting satisfaction of what you truly want.
And this is the choice we make every single day, right? Hitting snooze? That feels really good now. But what do you want most? A calm, productive morning? Mindlessly scrolling on your phone? That's an easy distraction now. But what you want most, that amazing feeling of finishing your project. Discipline is just that little pause where you consciously choose that second column over the first.
So, as the gym carries on around them, the conversation comes to a close. Kai's given Arjun a new map, a new way to understand his own mind. The talking is done, but for Arjun, the real thinking is just getting started.
You can practically see it happen. That heavy weight of frustration starts to lift, and it's replaced by this clarity. He's not staring at that impossible wall anymore. For the first time, maybe ever, he sees a path forward. He sees the muscle he can start building, the rudder he can start steering, and the seed he can finally plant. He sees that he has a choice.
And that brings it all back around to us with that same simple question Kai gave Arjun. It's the only compass you really need. So the next time you're in that moment, when the easy choice is screaming your name, just take a breath and ask yourself, what do you want most?